My father built this company with his bare hands. I spent 10 years bleeding for it. My sister spent those same 10 years on a stage, chasing a spotlight. And when he died, she had the nerve to ask for half. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The 10 years of sacrifice. The morning I got the phone call that destroyed my world. And the moment inside a lawyer's office that made my sister go completely silent. Stay until the end, because what my father actually wrote in his will, I did not see coming. I'm Ryan. And this is my story. I'll try to keep this organized, but I'm still processing everything, so bear with me. My name is Ryan. I'm 32 years old. My older sister, Melissa, is 36. Our father, David, built a mid-sized logistics and supply company from the ground up starting in the early 90s. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't a tech startup. It was boxes, trucks, contracts, and 30 years of a man pouring his entire soul into something he built with nothing but ambition and stubbornness. I grew up watching my dad work 14-hour days. I respected it. I wanted to be part of it. Melissa did not. She was always the artistic one. Talented, genuinely, I want to be fair to her. She had a voice that could stop a room. From the time she was 16, music was her entire world. Guitar lessons, open mics, original songs she'd record in her bedroom at midnight. When she turned 21 and announced she was moving to Nashville to pursue a music career full-time, nobody was shocked. My dad was heartbroken, but he let her go. He never once stopped her. He paid for her first month's rent. He told her he loved her. He waved goodbye. And then he looked at me. I was 22 at the time. I had my own dreams, I'll get back to that, but I saw what was in my father's eyes that day Melissa left. It wasn't anger. It was something worse. It was exhaustion mixed with quiet fear. He was getting older. The company needed someone who actually wanted to be there. So I stayed. I want you to understand what staying actually meant. I had a full scholarship offer to study architecture in another state. I had a girlfriend I was serious about who eventually left because I kept choosing 70-hour work weeks over weekends with her. I had friends who moved on, built lives, traveled the world in their 20s while I learned how to manage freight contracts and negotiate with suppliers and calm down clients who called at 11 p.m. screaming about delayed shipments. I gave up architecture. I gave up that relationship. I gave up years of my 20s. I'm not saying I regret it entirely. I love the business now, genuinely. I'm good at it. But I want to be honest, I did not choose this freely. I chose it because the alternative was watching my father's life's work collapse under the weight of his age and his loneliness. I chose it because I am the kind of person who cannot walk away. Melissa is not that kind of person. That's not an insult. It's just the truth. Over the next 10 years, while I worked alongside my dad, Melissa chased her dream. She had some small wins, a few hundred followers on Spotify, a regional tour here and there, background work on a couple of low-budget records. Nothing big. But she kept going. She also kept calling Dad for financial help whenever gigs dried up, which he almost always provided without telling me. I only found that out later. She visited home maybe once a year, sometimes less. She never once asked how the company was doing. She never once offered to help during the 2 times we nearly lost major contracts and had to work 90-hour weeks to keep things afloat. She sent birthday texts. She posted family photos on Instagram. And she lived her life entirely separate from ours. My dad never complained about her. He loved her. He just, quietly accepted that I was the one who would carry it forward. 8 months ago, my father had a heart attack in his sleep. He was 64. He'd had some heart issues the year before, but the doctors said he was managing fine. We thought we had more time. Everyone always thinks they have more time. I found out at 4 a.m. when my mother called me sobbing. By 5 a.m. I was at the hospital. By 7 a.m., my father was gone. I will not describe the grief of that morning in detail because I don't have the words and I don't want to perform pain for the internet. What I'll say is, losing him broke something in me that I don't think has fully healed. Melissa flew in 2 days later. The first few weeks after the funeral were a blur of paperwork, phone calls, and keeping the company from going into chaos. I stepped up into the CEO role immediately because there was simply no one else. My dad's department heads respected me. The contracts held. I kept everything running while I was barely sleeping and quietly falling apart. Melissa stayed for the funeral, cried beautifully, posted a tribute on Instagram that got 4,000 likes, and flew back to Nashville after 11 days. A month later, I got a message from her on WhatsApp. She said she'd been speaking with her own legal counsel, and that as a co-heir to our father's estate, which included the company, she was entitled to 50% of the business valuation. She wanted us to sit down with a mediator and begin the process of dividing assets. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I called her. The conversation was not good. I reminded her that she had not worked a single day in that company. That I had given up a decade of my life. That she had received financial support from Dad for years while I reinvested my salary back into operations. That the business did not exist in a vacuum, it existed because of sustained sacrifice, and that sacrifice was mine. She said, "Blood doesn't have conditions, Ryan. We're both his children." I told her I disagreed. I told her I would not hand her half of something I had built alongside my father while she was gone. She told me she would sue. Now here's where things took a turn I did not expect. Our father, it turned out, had a personal attorney he'd been working with for several years. I knew the man, Mr. Caldwell, but I assumed his role was mostly standard estate planning. What I did not know was that approximately 18 months before he died, my father had quietly and formally drafted a detailed will. Mr. Caldwell contacted both Melissa and me 6 weeks after the funeral, asking us to come in together to hear the contents of the will. I remember sitting in that conference room. Melissa was across from me, arms crossed. She had her own attorney with her. The tension was like a physical weight in the room. Mr. Caldwell opened the document. I will summarize. Our father left the entirety of the company, 100% of shares, operational control, all associated assets, to me, Ryan. He left Melissa $100,000 from his personal savings account, along with his written message to her that said, "You have always followed your heart. I am proud of you for that. This gift is so you can keep following it. The company belongs to the one who stayed." He left our mother the house and their joint savings, separately designated. That was it. Melissa sat in complete silence for what felt like 30 seconds. Then she said, quietly, "This is not fair." She stood up, spoke briefly with her attorney in hushed tones, and left the room without looking at me. In the weeks since, she has told multiple family members that our father was manipulated in his final years. She has implied, without evidence, that I somehow influenced him to exclude her. She has told our aunt that she intends to challenge the will in court on grounds of undue influence. Mr. Caldwell has already informed me that the will is properly witnessed, dated, and entirely legally sound. My father was of completely clear mind when he wrote it. There is no basis for her challenge, and her attorney has since told her the same thing, which is why she has gone quiet on the lawsuit threat, for now. But the family is divided. Some people think my father was cruel to leave her so little. Some people think I somehow earned this. And I'm sitting in the middle of it all, running a company, still grieving, wondering why none of this feels like winning. I'm posting this because I genuinely want to understand if I've done something wrong. I did not write the will. I did not ask my father to exclude Melissa. I did not know any of this was coming until Mr. Caldwell called us in. But I also did not fight for her when she made that claim. I pushed back hard. I told her no. And I do not regret that, because I genuinely believe her claim was unjust. So here I am. The company is mine. My sister hates me. Half my extended family thinks I should do the right thing and split things anyway, as if a man's legal, considered, clearly stated final wishes are optional suggestions. I don't know what the right thing is anymore. I just know I stayed. I just know I bled for this. And I know my father saw it. Update, 3 hours later. Since this has gotten some attention, yes, I am seeing a therapist. Yes, I have retained legal counsel. No, I have not reached out to Melissa since the reading. My mother has spoken to both of us and is trying to remain neutral, which I respect. She is also grieving. To everyone saying I should give Melissa something extra out of goodwill, I hear you. I'm thinking about it. But I also remember every late night. Every dream I quietly buried. Every year I watched my friends live freely while I kept this thing alive. My father knew. That's the part that means the most to me. He knew. And he wrote it down. So, jury, did Ryan earn every single asset his father left behind after a decade of silent sacrifice, or did David make a cruel mistake by leaving his own daughter with nothing but $100,000 and a goodbye note? Was Melissa wrong to ask for half of something she never touched? Or is blood always worth more than sweat? The floor is yours. Drop your verdict in the comments below.